What is going on, guys? I am BlackOpsAmazing. Welcome back to another zombies video where today we are going to be looking at the story of the Thrasher. As always, if you enjoy the video, a like rating would be very much appreciated. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest zombies videos on the channel. And without further ado, when you're ready, let's do this. In 5 AD, 1,000 years before the Great War between humanity and the Apothicons, knowing that Earth had a gateway to Argotha, the Apothicons sent meteors of element 115 to Earth, believing that one day humanity will mess with it and wage war between themselves, opening a rift that would allow the Apothicons to once again escape the Dark Ether and enter Earth. Almost 2,000 years later, on April the 10th of 1937, the Imperial Japanese Army discovered element 115 meteor fragments in a swamp within Japanese territory. And so, knowing the power that 115 holds, they built a facility around it. This facility was called the Rising Sun. A group called Division 9 was created to oversee the facility's operations. Division 9 used their mass supply of element 115 on experiments within the facility to do with weapons and experimented on humans. And Division 9 would continue to experiment with element 115 for years to come. That was up until World War II began. On August the 18th of 1940, as per Germany's request, the Imperial Japanese Army handed over the Rising Sun facility to Group 935. But Division 9 still remained involved on the site. So now Group 935 and Division 9 were working together, both at the Rising Sun facility doing experiments with 115. Whilst at the Rising Sun facility, Dr. Maxis, the lead of Group 935, using a prototype taken from the Japanese, worked on developing the ray gun. It was also at this time in November of 1942 that Takeo Masaki was dispatched by the Emperor to oversee the work of Group 935 and Division 9 at the Rising Sun facility. The Emperor became suspicious. He became suspicious that both the Japanese and the Germans were working together in Japanese territory, and so, to see if anything suspicious was going on behind his back, he sent Takeo there to spy on them. And Takeo would report back to the Emperor. He told the Emperor that the work being done at the Rising Sun facility was unacceptable, that it wasn't what he had wished. But this was all a ploy. Takeo had actually been set up. He wasn't really sent there to spy on them, and actually, on the orders of the Emperor, Takeo was taken prisoner by Group 935 and Division 9. He was betrayed. Once Group 935 and Division 9 had captured Takeo, they used him as a test subject for experiments. Now, in a separate dimension, Dimension 63, the story of Division 9 changed. And in fact, things were slightly different. Whilst a lot of things at the beginning stay the same, Division 9 is set up, they find mass supplies of element 115 on Japanese territory, and so the Rising Sun facility is built around it, they experiment with it, they join forces with Group 935. But in this dimension, Takeo was never sent to the Rising Sun by the Emperor, and so wasn't captured. This dimension in the Canorium is mentioned as a prototype fracture. It is a fracture of the original timeline. Prototype is a Latin word and in English means treason or betrayal. So this is described in the Canorium as a treason fracture. It is a fracture from the original timeline. So things this time with Division 9 were different. On April the 12th of 1942, after experimenting with element 115, the undead become out of their control and begin to overrun the facility. They start attacking the Division 9 employees, destroying and killing everything, and so the Rising Sun facility is lost. Division 9 tell the Emperor that they need a new place to do research, and so based on the fact that Division 9 made good progress in their previous facility, the Emperor on July the 8th of 1942 granted Division 9 the ability to begin construction on the island facility. They were to build a new facility away from everything on the island of Pompeii. On October the 9th of 1942, with construction complete, Division 9 continue their projects at the island facility. They continue with the research, they continue where they left off from the Rising Sun. Where this time on the island, since the environment is different, they experiment on the plant life. They inject it with element 115 to see what the outcome is. Not only do they do that, but but they use prisoners of war from World War II, and they also inject them with element 115. They mix all three of these things together: humanity, plant life, and element 115. Mixing plants, humanity, and 115 together can only mean one thing, and surely can't be a good outcome. However, on November the 5th of 1942, this time, Takeo is once again dispatched by the Emperor, but to oversee Division 9's work on the island. But just like before, Takeo is once again betrayed. He reports back to the Emperor and tells him that the work on the island is unacceptable. Just like before, the Emperor betrays him and tells Division 9 to capture Takeo, take him prisoner, and use him as a test subject for their organic plant-based experiments. Division 9 use prisoners of war, they use Takeo, insects, any living creature they can find. They even use their own staff and, in quotes, mystical beasts in their experiments. In their experiments, Division 9 managed to create giant spiders injected with element 115. These beasts, these mythical creatures that could have never been dreamed to exist. These are creatures you would read out of a horror book, but Division 9 has managed to create them. They create these spiders on the island. Not only do they create the spiders, but they also create the Thrasher, made by taking prisoners of war, injecting them with element 115, combining them with the plant life on the island, and as a result, they made the Thrasher. With spores all over its body, roots going from its hands and legs, these people that Division 9 used, because of the type of experiments they were doing combining plants and 115 together, they created monsters. And as we know, those were not the only creatures that Division 9 managed to create, but they also managed the resurrection of an ancient beast. Division 9, apart from the creation of the Thrasher, the giant spiders, resurrected the dragons. What happened to Takeo, you may ask? Well, as you see at the end of the Zetsubo no Shima cutscene, Division 9 turned him into a giant Thrasher, just like the other ones we see in the map, although this time Takeo was left locked in the basements of the Division 9 facility in a cage simply because he was far more dangerous than the other Thrashers that Division 9 had created. With Takeo, they managed to turn him into a giant version of what he should have been. In this dimension, he became a giant Thrasher. And that is the story of their creation. What happened to Division 9 and the facility? Just like Shinonuma, it became overrun because of the zombies, the Thrashers that they created, the giant spiders, and the mystical beasts, eventually all breaking out, attacking and killing the Division 9 employees, leaving the facility, leaving the island, to be left and lived on by their creations. So there we go. Not only was that the story of the Thrasher, but I may as well include the spiders and a few other things in this because they're all really made in the same way, at the same place, by the same group. The Thrashers, the spiders, Takeo were all part of an experiment combining 115 and plant life in Division 9's organic plant-based experiments. And this is the result. This is their creation. Hopefully if you enjoyed the video, let me know what you think down in the comments section below. If there's any other story or videos you want to see, also let me know. A like rating would be very much appreciated. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel, and thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.